this to Saudi to say that, look, we have this mosque. I really should have memorized the name, but I just came across it like 2 days ago. And
It's alright.
no, but it would have been nice because you're a historical student.
I would have. We'll come back to this video.
Yeah, it would have been nice to give you the name, but Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk, his video on splitting of the moon, there is historical evidence of somebody who is not a Muslim from India who witnessed and then accepted Islam. Till today, there is a mosque that's named after him. So there is historical evidence, there is testimonial evidence. So we have stuff like this, bro. Even in Islam, when you look at our oldest manuscript, or when you're talking about the Quran, you know the oldest manuscript is actually the Birmingham manuscript.
The problem I have with that is that the dating it gives, carbon dating, is very wide, and the main problem with its dating, and I'm not certain anything about it more than just this, is that the dating gives a range from 2 years before the Prophet's birth to a long time into his life.
No, it actually goes to 632.
Exactly, right?
It's actually 568 to 632.
Exactly. So I mean, obviously we're gonna have to say a concept sometime in that time, but I don't know exactly what it is.
But that's carbon dating for you.
Exactly, right? So
Yeah.
It's a thing I'm nervous about in terms of
No, but I don't think you should be nervous. I'll tell you why. Because that was carbon dated by the University of Oxford. You know that, isn't it?
I agree.
Four folios.
I have no problem with
Yeah.
the Birmingham Manuscript.
But
Or
the-
the Constitution.
But all kind of, academia baggage on one side. Don't you think that's kind of remarkable? That 1400 years, we have 4 folios that we found. It's actually in a non-Muslim country, because that was a criteria that you said. Non-Muslim country.
No, what I meant when I said we need Western academics.
No, I got what you said, but what I'm saying is, if it was like the Topkapi one in Turkey, somebody could still say, oh yeah, but it's in Turkey, but it's this. But
Yeah,
even if it's not,
it could have another origin, right?
people could say all sorts of
They
things.
could say, well, we don't know that it wasn't written at this time and this
Yeah.
has been there all that time. So yeah, sure.
But when the Bible doesn't assert that we have manuscripts dating to the time of compilation, to the time of Jesus, the Torah doesn't claim that. The Vedas don't claim that.
Well, the
But
Vedas claim a strong origin.
the Vedas, no, I'm talking about manuscript.
Yeah,
Manuscript
but
evidence.
But when you say manuscript, that's just this unfair to the way in which preservation took place in Indian culture. So before
No.
wait,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of listing. Let me say a little two things. Right?
You know why I wanted to interrupt there? Because I wanted to make the point, and then I wanted to hear your answer. Because if you then make the point, and I'm like, oh, I wish I'd completed. That's why.
Alright, go on.
Yeah. So look, I'm not saying that it's only manuscript based. What I'm saying is that just like we have a oral tradition, we have a live language,
Yep.
and we have manuscripts, 3-pronged preservation of the Quran. So I'm saying that, again, I was talking about the manuscript, and I was saying that, okay, they don't make the claim of the manuscript. Go ahead.
Sure. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to preservation of the Vedas, I have no reason to actually defend this.
Yes.
But from what I understand, it makes references to places and times that archaeologically we prove. Like, for example, there's a river that it talks about that dried up in 10,000 BC, and it talks about that river.
All right.
So it's clearly pointing that points back to a clear point in time to which it claims its origin, 10,000, 15,000 BC, right? But it's also
The archaeological,
yeah.
and that's been peer reviewed, yeah?
From my understanding, I could be wrong. Grain of salt.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Because I haven't heard that claim
This was-
from them.
Okay, where I watched it, there's a video on YouTube called Hinduism Explained Logically by some German Western scholar, and he talks about this, right? He talks
Right.
about this, right? You can find this like an hour long. And what he basically says is that when we talk about India, we're talking about a place that didn't have rights.
Do you remember the channel?
It was like Hinduism in Germany, something like that. Something
Fantastic.
along those lines, right?
Okay.
And basically what they say is that the oral tradition, because it references information that is before the time of its writing, it must have some transmission back to that time. I'm also going to assert that they recited that daily, right? So the same way, even if, say, mystically, Muhammad dies, the Quran just disappears, right? Just in that moment, every written Quran is gone, right? That does not mean that every day because it's recited, we're going to forget Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Ikhlas. We're not going to need the Quran to, if you wanted to keep transmitting that knowledge, right? You could have no Quran, and you today could teach your son Surah Al-Fatiha, you could teach his son Surah Al-Fatiha, and it's going to be preserved, right?
That is the way it's preserved.
Exactly, right?
We as Muslims make
So
the
the Vedas
claim.
is preserved the same way. Their daily recitation from student to teacher, student to teacher.
Would you say, because for the Quran, we say if every single copy of the Quran was burnt today, we could reproduce it from the beginning to the end
Exactly, right?
from memory.
So I'm saying
But the
Vedas-
Vedas, would you say if every single copy of the Veda was burnt, we'd have the same Vedas reproduced.
Yeah.
But in order to have that, you would need people that have memorized the Vedas today.
People do memorize the Vedas today.
So are there people
Yes.
that have memorized the Vedas from the beginning
That's
to the
like
end?
the whole thing in Brahminical religion. That's what they do. They learn the Vedas.
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, this is the tradition. This is even in Buddha. If we read the Buddhist scripture, Buddha is
I
called-
haven't come across a single Hindu that claims
Yeah, yeah.
to memorize the Vedas. It's
No,
very
because-
unusual.
Because that's not okay. So
You want to make this categorical statement on camera, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're kind of straw manning my position a bit. So I'm going to explain where you're confused.
Okay, no
So
problem,
we're saying,
no problem.
I'm not saying the layman. I'm not saying the layman does that.
Right.
I'm saying the Brahmin does that. You understand?
No problem.
Yeah.
I don't think I strawman that bit.
Well, you're kind of saying that. Oh, you think average Hindus? I'm not saying that.
Did I say average?
Yeah, you did. You
Okay,
kinda
my
implied-
mistake then,
yeah,
my
so you
mistake.
Kind of implied I was talking layman. I'm not talking layman.
My mistake.
Yeah.
Let me clarify then. I haven't come across a single Hindu that claims to have memorized the Vedas, and I've never.
There's a really good reason why.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so basically a Brahmin is only really a Brahmin according to tradition as long as he remains in India. If he leaves, he's not really considered a caste. This is once you leave India, right? So a Brahmin, someone that's going to be getting the tradition of the Vedas passed down to him, is only really going to be found in India. So you're not going to find that in other places, but the tradition of it is very, very
No,
old.
but even if a Brahmin is in India, there's so many ways that information can reach us through social media, through
I'm
peer-reviewed
I'm
journals.
sure if you look into it, you'll find.
I have. I'm telling you because look, I come to Speaker's Corner, I speak to people, and I make this claim that no other holy book from the major religions is memorized from A to Z, mass memorized. But for you, I'm saying let's just say even 5 people, 5 Hindus that have memorized the Vedas from A to Z. That's what I'm shocked.
I mean, okay.
I'm really shocked.
I think we're both kind of standing in terror that none of us are going to be able to bring absolute evidence. So I
No,
don't-
it's
I don't
not
wanna-
about evidence.
think it
You
is
know,
kind of.
no. The
The
thing
claim is that we cannot find X thing. If I can then come
No,
back with evidence that
at the
X thing
at the
exists.
moment, I haven't asked you for evidence. At the
No,
moment,
I'm saying.
no, listen. I'm not actually pushing back at you.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that
Yeah.
we made a claim that something is true in the world.
Yeah.
There is not even 5 Hindus I could find.
Yes,
that memorize
yes,
Vedas.
yes.
So I'll come back to you in the next couple of weeks. And I'll
Yes,
just
yes,
back there, I'll
you
bring-
can do. I've made an inductive statement, no problem.
Yeah.
So, but the point that I'm trying to say here is, I'm surprised that it's the first time I've heard somebody say that no, Brahmins memorize the Vedas from beginning to end.
Because they recite it every day.
No, they may recite chunks of it. I don't deny the fact that
But
chunks
if you go, if the recital through the years from start to finish, and for example, even Buddhist monks do this, I could show you a bunch of monks reciting the Dhammacakkappavattana, the Buddha's first sermon, all across the world without any of them need to read from the book, because they have memorized. All the sutras are memorized. All the important fundamentals are memorized. You can say the Vedas are going to be structured throughout the year. The same way we have sutras that we say at different times of the year. These things are memorized and known by daily root recitation. Right? So Hindus, Vedas, those are the Vedas. Daily oral recitation. This is how it works. So it's the same way you pray Surah Al-Fatiha every day, you will not forget Surah Al-Fatiha tomorrow.
Okay, I think you hit the nail on the head. I guess I was expressing my wonder at the fact that I'm hearing this claim being made. But I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, you're going to go back and you're going to.
Yeah. If I'm wrong, you know I'm a humble guy, I'll say.
Yeah, no, of course. But I wasn't asking for like pull this out. But
No, but when you make a
yeah.
statement that something's true in the world, we're going to only determine what that's true based on the evidence. We can't
Yes,
just,
yes.
If we're just wandering into the park and you just said, oh, well, that tree is blue, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, that's just true, now it's been said. No, we're going to say, well, how do we know that, right?
So I guess the point that I'm trying to say is that when you ask a Muslim, has somebody memorized the Quran? We will scream and shout it from the top of our lungs. Yes, 6-year-olds, this and that. When it comes to people of other faiths, no one makes that claim. There's no kind of documentary. When it comes to Hufaz of the Quran, there's documentaries in English, in Arabic, in Urdu, in German, in Spanish. Yeah, whether people in Saudi, whether people in Pakistan, there are certain people that don't leave Darul Ulooms in India. There are certain people that don't leave institutions in Saudi, but yet the information of them memorizing the Quran goes far and wide, because every Ramadan we recite the whole Quran. So there's clear, explicit ways in which it's done. So
Exactly, and I'm saying it's clear, explicit in the Hindu and Buddhist
yeah,
tradition too.
but my response to that is it's never come up in journals. It's never come up in
Which journals are you reading?
well, academic journals.
But who?
Like,
Any of them scholars of Hinduism or Buddhism?
well, yeah.
Like who?
You've got
Do you
like
know Richard Gombrich, for example?
no. What I'm saying is, look, when you look at peer-reviewed journals,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't tend to memorize the name of the people.
No, I mean, if someone is making an academic claim, I think you ought to know who the academic is.
It's not an academic claim. It's more of a
You can't say, no, once
sociological
again, remember,
claim.
we're talking about chains and knowing who said what. We can't say, oh, someone wrote something in a journal, but I don't know who.
Okay.
That's going back to your own reliability.
Okay, let's push back a little bit.
Go on.
So sociologically, if I'm saying, because bear in mind, I didn't say when you said no, I've come across these. There's Brahmins, there's these people, there's that people.
Yeah.
I said that's very surprising. I haven't heard that, and you said okay, I'm going to go back and I'm good. I didn't say you're wrong.
No, you didn't say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But you did make a previous categorical statement in which other religions do not have this thing.
Yeah,
That's a categorical statement that's true about the world.
it's a categorical statement, but it's an inductive categorical statement,
Exactly. So what can I say?
which
That's
is
fine.
open to being
Yeah.
proven to be false.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
So there's no issue with that. You could make an inductive categorical statement like you did with the hadith. I then gave you an answer, and then you said, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So similarly, I guess what I was hoping was just like you're popping up with certain names, I was hoping maybe you'd give me a name and I could say, but you did admit that, okay, I don't know, I can find out, and then we can reconvene and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Okay, fantastic. I'm conscious of your time as well. If there's anything else that you wanted to do, because you did give me 5 minutes, and I apologize for taking longer because
this has been a good conversation.
It has.
I enjoy being able to intellect, like I'm saying, engaging with people's beliefs, and people that are going to represent them as they actually. Because you can get into a debate with any Muslim, any Christian, anyone, and even any atheist, but they might not actually represent the position in its most clear and fair way. You have done an excellent job of representing the Islamic position, the Sunni position, very excellently to a way that I can engage with that. I can go back and look at what you showed me and understand it, and I can actually engage with it properly. Fair. It's not just like, oh, and before I only knew that majority of the people just go to Al-Bukhari. So that's what I would go by. That's what my knowledge. Now you're giving me further knowledge that I can now go look at that stuff and say, what is this stuff? What is this saying? What can I understand it to the view of history and the world?
Just before you go, because you're a Buddhist, I'm guessing you probably have more understanding of Buddhism and its scriptures.
Sure.
So when it comes to memorization, I'm not going to stop you because again, your time is there.
Yeah.
Just homework of mine, because you said people have memorized the Buddhist scriptures.
Yeah. I wouldn't say in majorative because it doesn't. It's not like a revelation.
There's
right?
5 or 6.
But all the major things, most monks are going to know.
Can you give me stuff that I could maybe go back and check?
Yeah, if you want to check out maybe Richard Gombrich or actually, let me see how much charge. My phone is dead. But I want to say that generally speaking, my understanding in the academic view is that the transmission of the text comes through Buddhist councils. So we have the first Sangha Council after Buddha's death. That follows through to about 50 years after with the second Sangha Council, where certain groups are expelled. So kind of like there's this view of this eternal Buddha nature established by this group we call the Mahasangika, they get expelled. They kind of move towards China, right? And then we get a third Buddhist council where the Emperor Ashoka basically wants them to affirm what they've affirmed in the previous 2 councils and make sure that's all still correct by their elders, so the transmission is through the elders, right?
Sorry to interrupt, but would you say Buddhism is a religion or it's just a way of living?
I would say it's religion. I'd say the understanding that it's a way of life comes from a period of Buddhism's interaction with Orientalism. So when Buddhism and Hinduism were presented to the West, they wanted it to be perceived outside of the sphere of religion, because the sphere of religion for the West was very Abrahamic. They didn't see themselves in that framework, right? And they also didn't want to. I think they were nervous of cosmological comparison, if I'm honest. I think that's the real reason why they downplayed certain things. Now, I'm not a disingenuous person. Those things exist in my religion. I'm not going to downplay it.
Yeah.
But it really goes back to figures like Swami Vivekananda and Anagadika Dharmapala, who really were the first people to represent Buddhism on the world stage to the West, but they also had a very particular way they wanted to.
So you're saying Buddhism's been warped over time?
I'd say not warped, because it's all still there. The canon is there. What Buddha said is there. You can go back to that time and time again. People can go off however they like. The same way you can find a Muslim who says, I believe Ali is God. But you can go back to the Quran and say, hey, well, the Quran doesn't say that. But we can't, but you can get people who believe whatever they want in any group of beliefs, right?
So you think Richard Gombrich is a good kind of starting point,
Richard
yeah?
Gombrich is a very good start.
And he talks about memorization as well. Or?
But he's going to talk to you about why he thinks that the scripture.
Sam.
He's going to talk to you about why he thinks the scripture is preserved. Method of transmission before writings. You made a mistake in your words.
Abdullah. Like I still not find it, yeah.
The funny is, it went over that. It's because we sent you.
Have a good day.
Nice to meet you.
By the way, I know, it's broken. Don't worry.
Mashallah.